Pakistan's hand, where social media campaigns are being run as to multiple handles on social media, fake accounts, and using Pakistani journalists and even their politicians, how they are targeting the suspended BJP leader and how they are building up this propaganda.
Let's go across to Kritsween now. Kritsween will help us understand Pakistan's role as far as, this entire social media campaign against Nupur Sharma is concerned and how this was blown up. Before we go across to Kritsween, let's go across to Shivani on the broadcast. Shivani, BJP is alleging Pakistan's role behind this. BJP says that 31 verified handles and bots were employed to amplify the social media campaign against Nupur Sharma. Shivani, can you hear me?
That has exposed how Pakistan. Yes, I can hear you. This is a report that clearly brings out how Pakistan was running an agenda. In fact, this was a toolkit against India, in which around 750 bot accounts were used. These Twitter handles, which were fake, were tweeting against India. Just they were connecting the hashtags to Nupur Sharma's statement, and they were trying to malign the image of India on the international forum, because this has been just the first time when a statement by a spokesperson has been taken into reaction by a number of Islamic nations too. So this was a toolkit that was framed in Pakistan by not only Pakistani journalists, fake accounts that existed in Pakistan, but also the PTI, the party that was ruling previously in Pakistan, PTI, that also supported this particular toolkit in which they were trying to malign the image of India with a number of hashtags that were going around the world, and they have spent crores of rupees. So the question here is that who is spending so much of money to malign the image of India, to run these fake campaigns against India? And they were just trying to make this particular issue viral on the international forum, especially in the UAE also, and all those countries where we see there are Muslim communities. So this was
Right. So this is also coming at a time when Pakistan's hand that has now been revealed. And Kritsween, you can also help us understand exactly what this toolkit was all about and how many people, especially from Pakistan, using fake accounts were involved.
Absolutely. So Pakistan now running a social media campaign as far as the controversy here in India is concerned. Now, though action has been taken, let's quickly break down details of the kind trending hashtags we've seen, not just in Pakistan, several Arab nations as well. Hashtag stop insulting Prophet Mohammad. So I'm going to zoom in a bit to show this to our viewers, and this is essentially detailing the kind of hashtags we've seen as far as this controversy is concerned outside of India. Trending hashtag in Saudi Arabia, viewers, you can see this is one such tweet, a screenshot of the same. This is essentially putting it in perspective on how this was a global conspiracy at play, rooting in Pakistan. Moving on, look at how the former ruling party, PTI, also had a role to play in it. The PTI's official Twitter handle goes on to talk about how superstores in Saudi Arabia, etc., remove Indian products after insulting remarks against Prophet Mohammad by Indian Prime Minister Modi's close aide. So Prime Minister Modi's name being taken here, and yet another tweet by the PTI, matter of pride for all Pakistan, when Muslims from all over the world use the video clip of our leader Imran Khan to express love for Prophet Muhammad. The DGISPR has also put out a tweet, spoken of how this is selective hate against Muslims. So you can see how this is going on in Pakistan, from the PTI, the former ruling party, there to the DGISPR. Pakistanis targeting India from fake locations. So fake locations were used. Now, our colleague just broke down for us how 31 verified handles and bots were employed. And this is how all of it was played out. Fake locations being used to really to really make sure that, Pakistan's role is not unearthed. So as far as this toolkit is concerned, several tweets put out by several outlets of Pakistan media. You have the Sama TV, the Daily Kudrat, Geo News Urdu, all of whom are talking about the punishment, the arrest that take place of Nupur Sharma, calling the RSS fascist. Those are the kind of remarks we see. Daily Kudrat, for example, says BJP embraces blasphemous statement. India summons ambassadors to Qatar, Kuwait, Iran, UAE, Saudi Arabia and other Muslim countries launch boycott India campaign. Now, all this was going on, but India also putting out the message very, very clearly. Remember what India said to OIC and also spoke of Pakistan's role when it said that this was not the political party in India's view, this was not the BJP's view, the centre's view, and in fact distanced itself, calling it a view of the fringe elements. But this is what was going on in Pakistan media. This is what several Pakistan journalists had to say. So that's how the toolkit essentially played out.
Right, so you're saying the master plan as far as Pakistan is concerned was to corner India, was to rally the Arab nations against India.
Oh yes, absolutely. Look at how several journalists, top Pak journalists, have also gone ahead with the same narrative. They like to spread hate against India using this particular controversy. How this journalist speaks of this trend is currently #1 in the Arab world, and today this hashtag is also #1 in Pakistan. Thankfully, the Muslims came to their senses. Blasphemy, and blasphemy is not freedom of speech, it is a crime. So you have Muslim journalists thanking several of those Arab nations across the world, condemning hurtful remarks, quote-unquote hurtful remarks of BJP leader about Holy Prophet Mohammad. So you see how the Pakistani journalists, Pakistani media using this as an opportunity to spread.
Sushant Sareen is also with us on the phone line. Sushant, do you see a pattern there? Exactly now what is being said, that maximum traffic on this toolkit came in from Pakistan, how verified handles and fake handles were used to build this narrative?
Well, I don't think we should be surprised that this kind of an activity is coming from Pakistan. Actually, a lot of this activity is also coming out of India. And we know the people who are, provoking sentiment in West Asia and in the Middle East within India. But to expect that the Pakistanis would let go of an opportunity like this, I think was to expect the moon. I don't think we should ever expect anything good to come out of Pakistan. And in this particular case, it entirely fits the pattern of Pakistan to try and exaggerate a particular issue, to incite violence, to incite hatred against India, and a line which they have been plugging for a very long time on Kashmir. Now they will hook it up to this fake anti-Islam narrative which they've been trying to flog in the Arab world and the rest of the Muslim world. They'll try and flog this. So I think this is a diplomatic challenge for us, and we need to shoot it down.
But you're saying as far as Pakistan is concerned, one shouldn't be surprised that Pakistan looks for every single opportunity to malign India. Thank you very much, Mr. Sareen, for joining us on the broadcast and for putting things into perspective. With that, we're slipping into a very short break. We'll continue to track this big story on the Satisfied.
We'll be right back.